Did you know that I've never tried a Huion tablet before? Well, that's gonna change today. Hi, my name is Oyun Orka, a VTuber who tries to draw, and today's video is gonna be a little bit different from usual. The people at Huion kindly offered to send me their Kamvas 13 to try out in exchange for an honest review. So, I'm filming this in the evening and with the blinds down as to not dox myself, so I apologize for the lighting. The video quality also might not be the greatest, but I'll try my best to show things as best I can. So let's open it up and see inside. So it looks like the tablet is either refurbished or they tested it out before sending it to me, since there's no plastic to peel off on the screen. I was kind of looking forward to peeling off the plastic, though as long as the tablet works fine, there's no complaints from me. The tablet feels pretty good quality-wise while also not being too overly heavy. According to the website, it weighs 980 grams or about 2.1 pounds. So underneath the tablet, after removing the paper divider, there's the pen and the tablet stand. The pen itself feels quite nice, and the size and shape is good, though it's a little bit lighter than what I'm used to. I'll try it more later. For the tablet stand, I was actually really surprised to see it included. In my email exchanges with a representative from Huion, the tablet stand wasn't mentioned, so I was actually wondering how to draw with the tablet flat on my desk. The tablet stand was surprisingly nice. It has a really heavy metal bottom to keep it from moving, and 2 wire stands that you can prop out for different angles. There's also the quick start guide, a drawing glove, and a microfiber cloth with the Huion logo on it. I went ahead and put on the drawing glove, but took it off later since I actually prefer to draw without it. And here we have the tablet wires. There's the 3-in-1 cable for primary use, as well as a cable for additional power if you want to use this tablet with an Android device, in addition to their add-on for the USB-C cable. Aside from the wires, we have the pen and nib holder, and unscrewing it, you'll see that I dropped a few of the nibs, but it's pretty easy to put it back in and screw it back into place. It also has a nib remover ring in the middle too, which is definitely convenient. So for the cables, in addition to the provided cables, you can also purchase an additional USB-C to USB-C cable, which is great, especially if you're using this with the laptop that supports it. As a disclaimer, I bought the cable with my own money since I have an open USB-C port on my PC, but not many USB ports on my PC due to my setup, since I have a lot of things being plugged in. I tried it with my Mac and the USB-C cable worked great, but unfortunately the cable is a little bit too short for my PC setup, so I had to unplug some things to get the tablet set up with the 3-in-1 cable. So here's a quick pan through of all the things that come included in the box. So now that the angle is where I want it to be, let's plug it in and try out the tablet. So when I first drew with this, I was actually really pleasantly surprised with the pressure sensitivity on this. I'm also using a ruler to test for parallax and jitter, and there's nothing noticeable to me. The pen draws super smoothly. There's practically no parallax right out of the box, which is actually incredible. I'm still amazed at the pressure sensitivity on this tablet. It actually feels more sensitive than the Cintiq that I draw with regularly, despite both pens being listed as having 8,192 levels of pressure sensitivity. Now that I'm done with doodling, let's try to draw an illustration with the Kamvas 13. And while I draw, I'll go ahead and talk about my thoughts on the tablet, as well as listing pros and cons. Firstly, let's start out with some pros. So the obvious one is that the pen has incredible pressure sensitivity, which is really great. It has the same levels as my Cintiq 16, though it actually feels a little bit smoother to use than my Cintiq somehow. Speaking of Cintiq, the Kamvas 13 also has a bunch of buttons, which my current tablet does not have. I personally didn't use them much since I'm not used to it, but it's really great and convenient, especially if you have a lot of shortcuts that you'd like to use. Also, perhaps most importantly, there's no noticeable parallax or lag from the pen at all. I've tried other tablets in the past from other brands that are more expensive than this, which still have slight lag, so it's incredible that with the Kamvas 13, at this price point, you get such a premium drawing experience. So moving on to the cons. So for the tablet display and drawing experience itself, I actually don't have any cons to list, but I do want to say that the USB-C wire add-on is a little bit short for my own PC setup, although it will work great for a laptop setup or a PC setup where the PC is closer. Since the port to insert the USB-C cable is inset into the tablet, it's too deep to allow for most non-Huion USB-C cables. Because of this, I hope they eventually consider adding a longer USB-C cable as an optional add-on. Secondly, this isn't a major con or deal breaker, but if you're looking to adjust more complex settings, the way to adjust them is a little bit finicky. So in order to access the OSD menu, which is the on-screen display menu for more advanced settings, instructions for how to use it is listed in the manual. However, in the manual there isn't an image with all the OSD settings labeled on the tablet, and I find visual aids most helpful, so I made one here. The second button also has an auto feature according to the manual, but I couldn't figure out what that is or how that worked, so if someone knows, please leave a comment down below. Also, you don't have to go through the OSD adjustment screens, since you can adjust basic settings here under the Huiontablet app. You can adjust the scene mode, brightness, contrast ratio, and also color temperature on this menu. I do work in a darker room though, so I like to dim the screen a little bit, but I find that on the Kamvas 13, brightness changes the colors a little bit too. Adjusting the backlight from the OSD settings retains a little bit more of the original colors, so I personally advise people to still open up the OSD menu and adjust from there if you want a little bit more control. And if you needed it, here's a list of all the pros and cons I just mentioned. Feel free to pause here if you'd like. Now I'll go ahead and just draw quietly and leave some real-time clips in so you can see a little bit more of my process. And after adding some final touches to the illustration, we've pretty much finished it up. Thank you again to Huion for sending me the Kamvas 13 to try out. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it looks great in my setup too. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, I would appreciate if you could give this video a like, and subscribe if you'd like to see more from my channel. I'll see you next time. Bye bye!